Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 37 of our COVID Yin online Facebook yoga practice. As I prepare us, come into your normal breath, come into a comfortably seated position, as I am sure you already are. Keep your strap, keep your block nearby. We are going to be doing some intense yin and pranayama in this session. We will aim to do a little warm-up and a little close, but within the actual practice, probably only 5 or so yoga positions. And we will try to hold each of them for 5 minutes each. While we are coming into our practice, take a moment to close your eyes, focus on your breath, and just feel your natural rhythm. Find space, twist around, lengthen the spine, drop the shoulders, lift the neck, drop the chin, wiggle the jaw, wiggle your hips, wiggle your shoulders, whatever you need to get out any bit of tension. There's a wonderful pranic healing warm-up that we will do someday when we're feeling a little bit more energized to get all the blood and all of the prana moving through the joints, through the different systems. When you are ready, start to bring your awareness into the belly, feeling the diaphragm expanding northwest, east, and south, feeling the pockets of space, rolling the wave upward into the balloon in your chest, your rib cage, feeling that elastic lift and dropping. Shoulders stay down, melting down the spine. And the third part of that wave, of course, comes into the thoracic clavicular regions of the face, regions of the higher energies, the higher auras, wherever you may be breathing into. Start from the root, your Svadhisthana chakra, your Muladhara chakra, and breathing up. Feel that wave of expansion. Stay with this breath throughout the practice. You can bring in the Ujjayi breathing technique, contracting the glottis, that slight sound as though you're fogging glass, keeping the mouth closed, extending the exhale to be twice as long as your inhalation. Starting to feel the systems of the body slowing down. Let's warm up the neck and side body with a few movements before we come into our first Yin Yoga position. So when you're ready, dropping the hands down, inhaling, palms up, shoulders down, eyes of the elbows open, touch the tips of your fingers, and redirecting the palms to face downward, exhaling, making sure the arms are moving from the shoulder socket, tips of the fingers touching, and again, palms facing upwards. A little bit more slowly than your last movement. Lifting and dropping down. Definition of yoga is union. It's important to use the breath to unite the body and the mind, primarily, and as our first step, before we start uniting the other systems and energies flowing through the body. On your next inhale, we're going to come up just halfway. So inhaling up, holding here just for a moment, and stretching out the neck. So left fingers to the right temple, right fingers coming down, nodding chin into the chest. And releasing the fingers, bringing the head towards the armpit. And then rolling down and rolling back up. Feel that lengthening. Almost again, you'd feel it in the temple, that soft spot where we just had our fingers reaching and touching and Giving a nice little massage. On your next exhale, chin to the chest, and inhale, arms up. Same thing on the opposite side. So switching the fingers, planting the chin and the palms, nodding yes into your chest. Put the chin down, release, and looking to the armpit. Dropping the shoulders and then dropping the chin, quarter circles. Feel like a pendulum just swinging around. Remember the balloon in your belly, the barrel in your ribs, that expansion throughout the whole body. On your next exhale, chin down, and inhale, arms up. Keep bending both, interlace the fingers, lifting slight back bend. And exhale, bring the elbows forward, tuck the chin into the chest, stretch out the top of the spine, the clavicular region. And when you're ready, inhaling, arms up and out to the side, cactus arms. We'll stretch out the shoulders a little bit. So a few classics. Right elbow coming in front of the chest, reaching, and inhale. Exhale, opposite arm, reaching. Feel such subtle but powerful movements. Really nice to do this with a wall or with the floor, but for now we're working on our posture. Overhead, same, hand into the elbow. Inhale and exhale, following your own breath. And inhale, hold here for one moment. Shoulders are down. Feel the warmth being generated in the body just from those very simple movements. And as you exhale, let's release the hands down, interlace the fingers, start to lift the hands, drop the shoulders, and lean forward. Bring the head all the way down, and let's hold this for 5 deep breaths. The palms can stay facing each other, or you can open them to face outward, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 0 with a nice straight back. Inhaling up, releasing the arms, placing them behind you, fingers pointing towards your feet. We're going to inhale, reverse. So lifting, you might feel the hips a little bit resistant. There we go, a little popping. And inhale, keep the chin into the chest. Keep the knees pressing down. And we're going to walk into a virasana. So just slightly lifting the hands, curling the toes under. Stay here for a moment, almost in a modified camel. And of course, you can adjust yourself in any way. On your next inhale, coming up into Vajrasana. Take a moment to do alternative nostril breathing here. Nadishodhana Pranayama. If you're familiar, please begin. Otherwise, right hand up, fold down the second and third finger, right thumb to the right nostril, block it completely. Exhale through the left. And when you're ready, inhaling completely through the left, count your breath. and hold for the same length of time. So if it was a 3-second inhale, 3-second hold, and then open, right, and exhale for 6 or twice as long as your inhalation, and then hold for 6 or as long as your inhalation. So it'll be 1, 1, 2, 2 following your breath. So again, deep inhalation now through the right. Count your breath and hold for the same amount of time. And open, exhale for twice as long. And hold the breath out again for the same amount of time. We'll do a few more rounds. Follow your own breath, your own rhythm. Remember, you have the balloon, the barrel, the spaces in your breath, that 3-part wave, the Ujjayi breathing technique. You can also introduce Kichari Mudra, which is the tip of the tongue to the back of the top of the teeth. Just slightly finding that soft palate as it's raised up. Continuing to breathe very deeply. When you're finished this next round, come back to a regular breath, releasing your hands. And let's come down to the left side. Inhaling, left arm up just for a little stretch. Right hand can be outside, hanging on to the right knee. Looking up past your armpits or with the eyes closed. A few side stretches here before we come into our balasana, child's position. That'll be our first hold. Inhaling up and reverse lift. And coming up with one leg and leaning back, the head tucked. One breath here. And exhale back to center. Same thing on the opposite side. So leaning down to the left, or the right, excuse me. Inhaling arm, resting opposite on the knee. Just let the gravity do the work. Let the breath open and invite relaxation to permeate. On your next inhaling lift, planting the palms and reverse lift with a nice one leg stretch, chin into the chest, back bending slightly. And exhale down. Very good. So let's find our child position. Balasana. In my case, I'm going to keep the toes together, opening the knees, and come into a nice deep child position. If you'd rather have the knees together, you're welcome. And of course, if you're not comfortable sitting in this position, you might want to bring, this might be a bit thick, but a bolster or a pillow. Just put it just slightly under, and that'll help to elevate a little bit and give a little bit more weight throughout the body. Okay, now as I said, we are going to hold our positions for a little bit longer today. So I'll set the timer for 5 minutes. So from this moment, getting comfortable, making sure the tips of the toes are touching, or at least in a position where they can relax, and lengthening the arms out, dropping the forehead to the ground, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, and just really come into this position. I'm going to just let you breathe through it with whatever music you may have on in the back. Already, that's 30 seconds. I will see you in 4.5 minutes. Be mindful, the 3 tenets of yin are time, stillness, and finding your edge. So if this is your first yin, you may not want to be beginning at a 5-minute. You may even by now, this is about 1 minute. You may by now start to feel the body wanting to come out of the pose. Well, there's a wanting to come out of the pose, that restlessness, versus a pain or a discomfort. So try to distinguish what you are sensing. And remember, every sensation is only pain once we identify it as pain. Until that, it is just a sensation. We're coming up to 2 minutes here, ladies and gentlemen. So again, just focus on your breath, the balloon in your belly, that rolling of all your stress and worries out through the exhalation. And relax. By now, you will all start to feel a phase change in the body at 2.5 minutes. Halfway there, we're going to hold this for another 2.5 minutes. Be aware of the benefits of this deep tissue relaxation. Coming up to 4 minutes, everyone. Very good. Just feel that melting of the hips, melting of the shoulders, the depth of your breath. When we hold the positions for this long, coming out of them, we will feel how much we have opened. So the stiffer that you feel coming out of this is how deep you took your body into this. So that's 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful. We're going to stay relatively down, just walking the hands back a little bit. Keep the body nice and slow, nice and relaxed, moving. We're just going to bring the feet, or the knees rather, together, keeping your upper body nice and low. Keep the belly on the legs. And just to get to the other side, we're going to do a bit of a roll. So just coming onto the side and super ninja roll over onto your back, and just stay here for 1 moment. Keep the knees tucked into the chest. You can rock side to side, up and down, anything that you may need just to restore any sense to the body. We're going to come into a counter pose again for 5 minutes. If you need a wall for this, feel welcome, because we are doing a 2-leg raised position. Now, you can use the wall, you can use your strap. I'm going to come into my strap because, of course, this can start to exceed our 90 degrees and not quite get into a halasana, but really start to stretch out the hamstrings. And obviously, again, working on our circulation in this position. Also working on relaxing any tension in the back with our legs lifted. The small of the back is placed on the ground. And of course, changing the place of your legs changes where we have the majority of the pressure in the spine. So just observe, find your place of stillness, a place where you can stay for about 5 minutes. Your legs do not have to be completely stretched out here. Knees can be bent slightly. We're getting a relaxation in the lower back. We're getting circulation back to the internal organs. We are still stretching out the hamstrings. The hips are releasing. The femurs are finding their place in the sockets. No pressure, no weight on the knees. And just that alone is beneficial. You may want to use this moment just to give the knees a soft little rub. It doesn't even have to be a massage, just even with the kind of open-faced palms. Just feel how responsive your poor knees are. Knees have almost a puppy dog energy. They just are so eager and willing to please, so energetic, so full of life, and so very easily soothed and comforted. That's just over 2 minutes here, so we're going to continue hold for another 3 minutes. Adjusting myself just for demonstration. If you have your arms on the strap, try to keep it nice and tight so you also get a nice stretch in the wrist. Otherwise, of course, let them hang out to the side. Pin the shoulders and relax the tension therein. This is beautiful for the shoulders and hips. And yes, while we want stillness, you can explore the spaces. Don't feel stuck. Don't feel paralyzed. Don't feel, that feeling in a dream where you just can't move. Listen to your body. Give your body what it needs. Work through any experiences of your life with your breath. Yoga is used obviously as a physical remedy, but is also used for mental issues or spiritual crises and emotional trauma. And the whole premise, of course, is that it's because we are coming back to our breath. It's 4 minutes here. So holding on here just for 1 more minute. Remember the balloon in your belly, the barrel in your ribs, the spaces in your faces. And you may feel some of the bones, the lower back or the mid back, kind of just melting in or finding their home, finding their designated resting spot. And just breathe. The breath is the relocator. You don't need to consciously or physically do anything. Just relax. Breathe and stretch it out when appropriate to make the space and take the space that you are making. Hold for one more deep breath here. Very good. And now let's just bend the knees down, bring them to the outside, towards the armpit, and just let the hips open. And just pay attention to the sensation in your feet. How powerful of an effect the circulation or lack thereof, or returning with highly oxygenated blood is. You take a minute to wiggle it out, back and forth, side to side. And when you're ready, let's bring the knees together. And again, kind of wiggle it out, back and forth, side to side. And when you're ready, we'll start up and down. So bringing the feet a little bit over. We'll have to round the back a little bit to get up. Coming into our rock and roll. Releasing any stress that has come up in the back. And we're going to rock into a forward Paschimottanasana. So when you get the momentum, walk forward with a forward seated bend. Lifting the femurs here if you feel imbalanced. And again, we're going to hold this for 5. Keep a block handy nearby because we're going to come into a block bend that necessitates a back block bend, in just a moment. But first, when you're ready, Paschimottanasana, forward bend. So making sure the femurs are nice and open. Backs of the thighs shaving their way against the ground, really pushing down. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down, touching the tips of the fingers, and exhale, lengthening and resting down. Breathe into this position as you lengthen with every inhale, and exhale, drop. And we will hold this again for 5 minutes. So getting into, as I said, a very deep yin practice today. It's 90 seconds. So just the first phase of this position, and just feel how deeply you can go. Find the body creating more space. Take it. That's 3 minutes. 2/3 or just under 2/3 of the way there. Just let the body travel into the breath without judgment, without expectation. Just breathe. If any thoughts come to your mind, whether positive or negative, let them go with your exhalation and come back to your breath. Come back to your positive intention or your mantra. And that's 4.5. So taking another few breaths, coming back into your body, wherever your breath has taken you, wherever your body has been. Let's prepare to come back into the space and into a nice counter pose. So when you're ready, wherever you may find yourself, let's just slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, rounding the back up. Keep the chin into the chest. And the last thing that comes up, and when you're ready, let's take your block, put it in your back, and lean back. In my case, I'm going to go mid-back today, just to counteract that pose, but as you like, whether it's between the shoulders or a little bit lower at the base of the spine, also whether it's low, medium, or high. Totally depends on you. It depends on the area in your back, depends on the quality of stretch, the depth that you're after. So from this moment, let's take 5. You can also have another block to help with the head, or if you have neck issues, you can have something to as well. Catch your neck. Otherwise, you can open the arms out to the side and relax. It's just coming up on 2 minutes. And of course, if at any time you feel discomfort or pain in the pose, do come out of it. Be mindful, though, to identify pain as pain, not simply an unpleasant situation. While we certainly don't want to bring any stress or discomfort into the body, we do want to extend our limits. So finding that fine balance. Coming up on 3.5 minutes. Another 90 seconds to breathe into the position. And taking your last breath here. Be very gentle with the neck, so bending the arms in, interlace the fingers behind the head, make a nice cradle for your neck, and then just tilt the neck forward, chin into the chest, drop the shoulders down, lengthen the biceps, lift the elbows, and breathe. Feel your lungs opening. And when you're ready, let's inhale, coming all the way up. You can use your arms to support. And again, forward fold. This time a nice wide straddle. So opening the legs about 90 degrees as you are comfortable. If you'd like to lift the hips in the back, feel welcome. If you'd like to have some support in front of the chest or the belly, also you're welcome. Otherwise, and take a nice deep breath. Feel the change in the quality of your breathing. Inhaling up and exhale, straight arms, straight back. Find your edge. Once you found it, start to walk the hands forward, bending in with the thoracic spine and then bending down with the cervical spine. And relax. Again here, we will hold for 5 minutes. That's 90 seconds here, everyone. So preparing for the next 2 phases of the pose. And just come into your body without expectation, just surrender and breathe. It's just over 3 minutes, everyone. So preparing for the last 2 minutes, feel the wave of breath moving through the body. Every breath, reclaiming any parts of pockets that the breath gives to you. And continue to breathe just as deeply, extending your exhale to be twice as long as your inhalation. And taking your last breath here. When you're ready, very slowly walking the hands back, rolling the vertebrae up one by one. Last thing to come up is the head, the shoulders, and bringing the soles of the feet together. And Konasana, hang on to your feet and let that butterfly flutter by. We're going to stay in this flutter for about a minute. We've done quite a lot of back bending, forward and back, working on the different planes of the body, the sagittal plane, coronal plane, and just let the systems respond and relax. Another 30 seconds or so, sitting up nice and tall. And the shoulders dropping down. You can hang on to wherever you feel comfortable, but make sure you're hanging on enough so that the shoulders get a nice stretch. stay here for another just a little bit longer. Because again, it's always just kind of like working things out of a straw. It sometimes takes a little bit of time just to loosen and start to move. Remembering the balloon in your belly, the barrel in your ribs, the contraction in your throat, the open cavities being taken in your face by your body, your mind, reclaiming territory that has been lost to any experience of the body, whether positive or negative. Rather, whether you deem it to be positive or negative, we know not. We only think we know. Let's bring the legs together, rolling back onto our tailbone and come into that bit of a basket stretching. So lengthening the spine. Oh yeah. And just stay there for a minute. Just flatten. You can come up a little bit to the tips of the toes, but you don't want to rock around too much here. You maybe rock side to side to the gluteus mins. Just start to feel the weight resting in those heavy bones. And when you're ready, let's release. So bringing the body all the way down, separating the feet slightly, keeping the feet flat on the ground just for now. Take a moment with the knees bent just to feel how relaxed your spine is. Make sure your shoulders are planted, your hips are relaxed. You can wiggle yourself just a minute here. And again, just working out those muscle tightnesses that sometimes just needs a little weight. Lactic acid that gets stuck. Stretch out the hips just as a closer. So inhale, left leg up, crossing it over the right, looping the arms either behind the calf or in front of the shin. You can, of course, most definitely use your strap. If you'd like to get very intense, you can have your leg up and come into a Ardha Paschimottanasana Halasana position. But I will rest here and I will stay, let's stay here for 2 minutes. And just let the hips melt open. Relax your back, relax your shoulders. A lot of back bendings today, a lot of forward folds. So just feel that grounding all along your vertebral column. Past the halfway mark now. Taking another few deep breaths. And when you are ready, releasing the hands, opening the arms to the side. Let's clasp the knees together. If you are able to Bring the legs into Garudasana or eagle position by hooking the big toe onto the back of the ankle. You're wonderful. Otherwise, just crossing the spine. And exhale, let's lengthen the spine to the right side, looking to the left. And we'll just hold here for 1 or 2 deep breaths. Really releasing the lower back, relaxing the legs. Breathing deeply into your belly. And when you're ready, coming back up to center and doing the same thing on the other side. So switching the legs, crossing the right over the left, looping the arms through. And again, finding your unique place of comfort. For however many practitioners of yoga we have, are at least how many varieties of each position we have. Relax the shoulders, relax the hips. Fill the balloon in your belly to touch your thighs, past the 1 minute mark here. And when you're ready on your next exhale, release the hands, bring the arms out to the side, cross the legs a little bit tighter, knees together. If you're able to tuck the toe into a Garudasana, Eagle Asana, you're welcome. Let the legs roll down. Take a couple of breaths here, looking in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, let's release. Unravel your spine, unravel your legs, coming back to center and coming into Shavasana. Close your eyes, deepen your breath, soften your heart, open your mind, relax your body. Scanning your body, releasing any tension. Staying here for as long as you so desire. Otherwise, when you're ready, gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Turning the head to the left and the right. Inhaling, arms overhead, interlace the fingers, and folding to the left and the right. And inhaling, knees into the chest, whether you find stillness, rock side to side, up and down, or making small, medium, or large circles in one direction and the next. However you find your body calling on you to move, to respond, to prepare to bring yourself back into the mechanical world. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, gently allow yourself to roll onto the right side using the right bicep as a pillow. Keeping the knees tucked in, take a moment to send your energy to all the people that have helped you become who you are. Take a moment to send your love to those who are suffering around you and around the world. Take a moment to smile, releasing endorphins from the practice, keeping the energy you need for yourself to continue to be a warm, loving, gentle human being. And when you are ready, and only when you are ready, in your own time and at your own pace, gently coming back up to a comfortably seated position. Take a moment to feel the effects of the practice. Allowing the hands to rest on the knees, whether they be palms down, professing wisdom, or palms up, seeking knowledge. Fingers can be in a variety of mudras or positions. It's traditional to close the class by chanting Om together 3 times. It is a breath extension practice. It is a vibration creation. It is up to you if you'd like to join me or not. No one is around to hear you. If a yogi ohms alone in a room, is there anyone around to hear him or her? Bring your hands into the chest, thumbs into the sternum, fingers away from the thumbs, shoulders down. Feel the natural rhythm of your heart, following the natural rhythm of your life in this universe. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Atma Namaste. Thank you so much for your time and your practice and sharing your energy. And I remind you, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the emotions, you are the I am. The I was and the I will be.